Hi, Bryan.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's very good. How are you?
So, again, I've said this several times already in talking with you, but I am so happy to have you here today because I found your story very inspiring.
Thank you.
And, of course, I met you at the employer partner, was it a recognition luncheon at the Northwest College?
Yes.
Thank you to Northwest College, first of all, right?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, and so, Bryan, I need the world to know your story.
Right.
Because, I mean, it really touched me in that it just shows a story of resilience, of determination, all those things that are good feels for people who, might want to give up. And so please begin to tell your story. I want to hear it again.
Awesome. No, thank you so much again for having me here. I've been in Canada 4 years.
Wow, just 4 years?
Just 4 years. I got here the year COVID hit. And there was a total lockdown. The year 2020, and I got here on the 23rd of January. It was minus 30 when I got here. It was so cold. so cold.
So what brought you to Canada, first of all?
So pre my coming, I come from Uganda, and I got involved in politics back home.
Oh, okay.
And not to go so much into the nitty-gritties, but it was more of political persecution, and so my life was in danger, and I was running for my life.
Oh, my God.
Yes. And so I was in fight and flight.
Wow.
Got here not knowing what to expect, and got here, and the first night I was here, I slept at the Hope Mission.
Unbelievable.
Like
from the airport.
From the airport. Yeah.
So you came to Canada and landed in Edmonton not knowing where you were going to sleep.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Running for my life. And when I got here, it dawned on me that, okay, I'm in a new country. I do not know anybody. But I knew that I was safe.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
I did not know what to expect, though.
Yeah.
So with the weather being minus 30, that was already a shock to my system. And the first night I slept at the Hope Mission and woke up the next morning, and my shoes were stolen.
Oh my God.
One of my suitcases was stolen, and life started from there. And it was a journey from there.
Yeah.
And if we remember right, February of that year, that is when the lockdown was in place.
Yeah.
And, agencies, the government, the world was scrambling on what to do with the pandemic.
Wow.
Now, with that, obviously, came pressure on the social agencies that we see right now.
Right.
And I was at the Hope Mission. I used to wheel my my suitcase all the way from Hope Mission right until the city center mall. And
God.
going to the city center mall to keep warm. Yeah. But after COVID, that was different.
Yeah.
You could not enter city center mall anyhow, because of the restrictions.
So, oh my God,
Yeah.
I hate to ask,
Right.
but where were you every night after that first night?
And that's the thing. So every night, either you are in a shelter, and obviously at that time, social agencies are still figuring out what should we do.
Yeah.
What does social distancing look like? They were no longer at capacity.
Yeah.
So again, what we see as the tent cities right now, that is when they became a lot more pronounced.
Right.
Because people did not have anywhere to go.
Right.
So that is when a lot more people would stay in tents. And I stayed in a tent right outside Hope Mission, and
oh my God, you went from what, plus 40 to minus 40?
Yeah. And that was tough. But the one thing I know about human beings, we are very resilient.
Oh my God.
And sometimes you never know how resilient you are
Yeah.
until you are in that situation.
You're putting that,
And you have to survive. And I survived, was able to advocate for myself. It was tough because a lot of people were not in their offices. So how do you go looking for housing?
Yeah.
How do you apply for all that you need to apply for in order to get back on track or get your life going? But thankfully, on the 1st of April is when I got my first apartment. I was able to
Oh my God.
move in. Yeah. And
during COVID still?
During COVID still.
Holy cow.
Yeah. But that was a journey of me, doing the footwork.
Yes.
Trying to figure out where do I get a housing worker,
Yeah.
or where do I apply for low-income housing. And it was a lot. It was a
Yeah.
lot. There are days when I felt like giving up.
Oh my
So many
gosh.
days. The days when I felt like, no, what did I come to?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I ran from something and I'm
Yeah.
here and I'm not
Yeah,
getting
and
what's
it's a different
going on.
kind of challenge now,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Very, very different.
So did you think at those moments, did you think, should I go back? Or what were you thinking? Really?
There are moments when I thought, maybe I should go back. But, you think, I think about going back and I'm like, but my life would not be safe.
Yeah.
I would not be safe. So...
Wow.
Yeah, I just had to press on. It was tough. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. Yeah, it was.
So
very,
what
very
I'm
tough.
thinking through this whole time is like, we talk about the human condition
Yeah.
and being resilient. You have to really want it. I
You
think
have to.
that's the main factor,
Yes.
right, in all of this. And
Yeah.
some people just give up. But that's what I saw in you was like you had that light. You knew it was there.
Yeah.
So go on. Please talk to me about how you in those moments that you were questioning what you were doing, what
Right.
kept you going?
I would say what kept me going was knowing that if I'm still alive, I still have a purpose.
Oh my God.
And somebody told me
Sorry,
that.
you're going to make me cry.
Someone told me one time that sometimes when you are hit down by life,
Oh my God.
you're not knocked out. You will be hit so many times and you will fall sometimes. But if you're not yet knocked out, you still have the fight in you. You have to get up and fight.
Oh my God.
And I think that's what kept me
Oh my
going.
God, sorry.
It's all right.
That was so beautiful. You don't even understand.
Yeah.
I can't believe this.
Yeah. Because the truth is that life is not fair.
Yeah.
We're all not handed everything on a silver platter,
Yes.
but the struggles in life help you see life in a different light.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and sometimes when you're knocked down, there is no other place to go. You can you're
down there.
down.
Yeah.
You just have to look up and be
Yeah.
like, okay, now
Yeah.
I have to figure out how I
Yeah.
get back up.
And the good thing is, that's a good point, is
Yeah.
you're down, but you're not buried.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And sometimes I've had it said as well that sometimes when you're buried,
Yeah.
that needs to happen
Yeah.
so that you can work on whatever it is down there. It's just like a seed.
Yeah.
When a farmer starts to plant, they bury the seed.
Yeah.
But it's through that there is work that is
Yeah.
done under the soil so
Yeah.
that when it comes out,
Yeah.
no one knows what's going on under there.
Yes.
But the root system you have built yourself. And sometimes
Oh my God.
it's okay to feel like you're buried,
Yeah.
but you have to work. You have to keep
Yeah.
working. You have to keep at it.
And then when I think about like being buried,
Yeah.
the seed,
Mhm.
you're being watered by certain things, the support
Exactly.
network and
Right.
et cetera, right? There are things that help you grow.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So-
Brian, that's such a beautiful. I mean, I would not want anyone to be in the position that you were in.
Mm-hmm.
However, that's a beautiful story in that you grew.
Yeah.
So talk about the steps and the growth to where you are today, because wow, like you got an apartment.
Right.
Then what happened?
So got an apartment, and again, that was towards the summer.
Yeah.
It was lockdown. You'd hardly see anybody on the streets and all.
Oh.
And then fast track to September, October. That is when the restrictions were not as
Strict.
strict.
Yeah.
And some of the social agencies started to have volunteers back.
Okay.
And so that is when I was thinking, okay, I have been seated at home for so long.
Yeah.
I need something to do.
Yeah.
And I started to look around for a few agencies.
Okay.
I went to the fire department. I was like, maybe I could, volunteer there. But they were like, right now we don't have anything. Maybe
Yeah.
check back in a few months and we'll
Okay.
see. And so the Mustard Seed was one of the agencies that was allowing volunteers back. And so I started volunteering for the Mustard
Oh
Seed.
my gosh.
Twice a week,
Yeah.
I would go there. helped to sort clothes at the community support center.
Okay.
And that was awesome. I met amazing people.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so through that, I slowly then got into their other locations and was volunteering. I would probably volunteer every day, 5 days a week, and it was just amazing to give back.
Yeah.
And
be connected with people, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And through that, I started to meet people who I met while I was on the street. Because these were friends who were accessing the mustard seed, and now I'm volunteering and I'm just giving back and helping to see that I'm able to help them know that there is hope. Yeah, I was once where you are, but there is hope, and you can still fight for what you want. So
talk about that, because I'm sure you have had some success stories in terms of creating an impact for these people.
Yes.
Like, have you seen a change in some of the people that you've helped?
Yes. Oh. Yes, I have seen a change. So there is one particular friend who I actually met while I was still in the street, and his story is one of those stories where you're like, if anybody is to go through this, I do not know how he was still surviving. Long story short, after addictions, he was able to go to rehab, was rehabilitated back into community. Wow. He started to volunteer as well, then got a job at the Hope Mission. Oh my God. But his story is one that I don't want to share in detail, but it's one where that at the end of the day, somebody has to choose and know that, my story does not define me. Yeah. My story is a stepping stone to what I really want to, where I really want to go.
Oh my God, I'm getting chills.
So, wow. So I have seen success stories, and everybody has a story. Yeah. Everybody has a story. So,
but I was just I was listening to actually watching a show on somebody who got into an accident and almost died, and he said. He never has a bad day anymore because that was it. He was so close to death that now when we are in situations like what you've experienced and the person that you just mentioned, I'm pretty sure you cannot have a bad day anymore because you were buried. Yes. And now any minor little challenge or obstacle is like, you know what? I'm still alive.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
Yeah.
So now we're in 2020.
Yes.
Right? And talk about keep going on your steps here. I love this.
So 2020 November, the convention center was opened up.
Right.
And 3 agencies were picked to run that place as a shelter.
Oh my gosh, that's
and
amazing.
The mustard seed was one of them.
Okay.
And that's when I got hired by the
mustard
seed.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yes!
So I worked as a frontline worker, and it was an amazing experience because my life journey informed how I was doing the work there. Right. And it really helped me meeting a lot of my friends who I'd met on the street. And again, it was tough. It was a tough time. COVID was already a stressor. Yeah. Somebody's going through homelessness. Yeah. They're struggling with addictions. So that was a lot for anybody to take. Yeah. But during that time, we got a lot of people who actually have been, were working. Some of them lost their jobs. They lost their houses. And they ended up unhoused, and so we got a lot of them accessing the shelter as well. Yes.
I mean, I heard about it on the news, but to hear it firsthand from somebody who's seen it and experienced it, wow.
Yes. It was so much. Oh my gosh. And it really put people down. Yeah. But what helped us is knowing that the kind of job that we do is you're dealing with people. Yeah. You're not dealing with a machine or you're not dealing with a computer. No, you're dealing with people. So being able to learn how to slow down and sit down and be able to listen to somebody's story. Yeah. Ask them, how are you doing? And sometimes it's okay for them not to tell you straight away. Right. You have to create that relationship so they can trust you to be able to open up and tell you, you know what? This is my story. This is what I've been through. And this is what I feel like right now. So being able to be a small part of somebody's story. And sometimes I learned that you do not have to be the person to plant the seed, water the seed, and see the fruit of whatever has happened. Sometimes you're just a part of that person's journey. And as long as you're an integral part of it, you're helping them along the way. That sometimes you will never see the fruit of that. You'll never see the fruit of why you gave somebody a bottle of water or why you sat down and just give them a listening ear, but they'll always remember somebody actually bothered to ask me how my day was or how I was doing.
Me as a listener, that is a big thing for me. So when you talk about, giving that person the safe space and creating that trustworthy environment for them to talk, you're right, sometimes they don't open up right away. It's through maybe a few meetings afterwards, and then they start to feel your energy and go, I can really trust this person. Now I really want to open up. Oh my god, that's so lovely. I love it. So now you're like in November, you're talking about you're hired now. That's awesome. So
worked all the way December right until May. That is when the shelter closed down. So it was just for a season.
Temporary, especially during the winter.
Exactly, right. And then after that, I transitioned from frontline into working with community engagement.
Oh my gosh.
Still under the mustard seed, and that was amazing, being able to transition and seeing what we had been able to accomplish. And then for me to transition into community engagement, being able to then learn and take those skills into what I was doing next was really, really good. I did that for about a year and a half. And that involved me going into schools, telling them about the work that we do at the Mustard Seed, but also sharing my story. Because for a lot of the community out there, they see somebody on the street and they do not understand that there is a huge story under that. I always see it as an iceberg. All you see is just the tip of the iceberg, but right under there, you have no idea.
You're right.
And so for me to be able to have the opportunity to stand before, school children, from grade 1 right until high school, being able to stand and share my story and help them understand that the person that you see on the street, that is not their story. That is not who they are. They have a way bigger story than that. That is not what defines them. They have a name. And I always would tell them that I am not a homeless person. No, my name is Bryan. But I went through a season of homelessness. Homelessness is a season. It does not define who somebody is. It's a season that somebody goes through. And we did a lot. We've done a lot of work in that, being able to teach the community, sensitize the community, teach the children, being able to open up their eyes to know that, what, we are a community, and as community we take care of our own. And if we're able to look after our friends, and you don't have to go so far, look around you, in your classroom, in your community back home, who do you realize that needs somebody just to sit down and talk to them? Who do you see that feels down? How are you able to extend some hope? How are you able to extend a hand, give them a hug? And we used to ask them, you ask some of the kids, how can we be able to extend love to those around us? And there's just so much that they would say. And being able for them to see that was really, really good. And you'd get questions like, what was it like being on the street? What was it like not having your parents? And they kind of see that, and then they see that, okay, I'm in a good place, and I should be thankful for the fact that I come to school, I have a meal, when I go home, I don't have to worry about food. I don't have to worry about what pair of socks I'm going to put on the next day, because I look through my drawer and there's just a million socks there, so I need to pick from so many. So that was one of the greatest times when I did community engagement, and being able to as well talk to students from the higher institutions. That was awesome, because a lot of them will be at a place where they've not gone through experiential learning. So what does it look like to partner with different agencies so that we're able to see change in our community?
Right.
And that is where working with Norquest was awesome.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that. How
Yeah.
did you get connected to Norquest? That's really awesome.
Yeah, so it was awesome having their teachers reach out and ask, we have students here who would like to learn what it means to be part of community, but also give back.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Yeah.
And but they'll also understand, why is it that we have quite a large number of people on the street?
Right.
Why is that? What is the underlying cause of that?
Yeah.
So being able to have that,
Yeah.
for them to be part of what the different agencies are doing, being part of what Mustard City is doing, that has been so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just, I can't, like, the transformation in 4 years has been incredible. But
Yes.
I think, God, universe, whoever, creator, guided you, right?
Yeah.
You had to go through that,
Yes.
that to get to where you are today. And wow, that's just a beautiful, I can't even describe how that makes me feel to know that hope. You had that.
Yes.
When you got on the plane, you had that when you landed. You had that even when you were at the, on the shelter, right?
Yes.
Not many people have that, as I say. So, what kind of guidance or advice can you give people going through, those dark, buried situations?
Right.
What would you tell our audience? Because I think that's a key thing about this, this podcast is I want to give our audience, you think you got it bad, there is hope, and where can you find that?
Right. No, that's a good question. I always say that we need darkness.
Yeah.
Because without darkness, you're not going to see the light.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you need to be in darkness for you to realize, where is the light?
Yeah.
Do not look at any situation that is painful as one that is going to destroy you.
Yeah.
Because we need to have a good relationship with pain. That's what somebody said.
That's a good one. A good relationship with pain.
We need
oh
to
my
have
God,
a
that
good
is so good.
Yeah. Because from pain you're able to grow. Without those painful situations, you're not going to grow. One of the greatest advices I would give somebody going through a time that they do not understand is that it's okay to go through the emotions. Do not block them.
Yeah.
If you need to cry, do cry. If you need to scream out, scream out. But look back to where you've come from, and look back to where you're going, and look ahead to where you're going. This is just a season.
Yeah.
It may feel like it's a lifetime,
Yeah.
but it's just a season.
Yeah.
Keep hope alive.
And it's not the end of the story, right?
It's not the end of the story.
Yeah.
Your story is still being written.
Yes!
It is still being written, and you have to be part of it.
Wow.
You have to be part of it.
Oh my God.
I heard somebody say that the bottom of one mountain is the top of the other.
Right.
And sometimes when you are at the bottom of the mountain, you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm at the bottom. But sometimes that's the top of the one that you came from.
Yeah.
So you have to keep climbing.
Yeah.
You have to keep climbing. You do not give up. You have to keep climbing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's okay to be at a place where you feel like I could not go on. But that is where we need community as well.
Yes.
Community is very important.
Yeah.
Very, very, very important.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Very, very, very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You couldn't survive without that. The supports, absolutely.
Oh, the supports are very, very, very important. Yeah. And lastly, I would say that at the end of the day, you will sit down somewhere and be able to share your story, because what you're going through sometimes is not for you.
Yeah.
It is for somebody else who you're going to encounter, who needs to listen to your story.
Oh my God.
So if you can be strong for the next person, be strong for them so that you're able to share your story, so that at the end of the day, they're able to make it through.
Oh my God.
I had an old man tell me that there is an old man in you who is counting on you to make it through to the end. So do not disappoint that person. Do not disappoint them. So keep fighting.
Keep fighting. Yeah.
Keep moving.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to get tough sometimes, but that doesn't mean that it's over.
Yeah.
You have to keep going no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're honestly, Bryan, you're a great example of that. Seriously. So what are the next steps for you? Like, what is your future plans now?
So my future plans, I'm in 4 years here. One of the things that I would really love to do is I want to get into politics.
Ooh,
I'm still thinking about it. Still thinking about it and what that looks like.
Yeah.
I would love to be at a place where I'm able to serve the community, to serve Edmonton, and especially the people who feel like they're not being heard. And I'm not so sure what that looks like for me right now. I'm working with an agency that caters to people who are unhoused and the vulnerable population, and that's where my heart is, because that is my story.
Yes,
and so what does policies around that look like?
Yeah.
And so that is what I'm looking forward to.
Oh my gosh.
And it's something that I'm still thinking about, and because being new here, I'm trying to understand the political landscape, and environment of the space. So so that is what I'm looking forward to.
Wow.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
That's the next mountain, right?
That's the next mountain. That's the next mountain.
Well, thank you so much, Bryan. But before we go, I really have an important question to ask you.
Yes.
And that is, what matters to you the most?
What matters to me is people and community. I feel like we live in a community now that is very individualistic.
Yeah.
And we care about only me and what is around me.
Yeah.
But what matters to me most is being able to look at somebody and ask, how can I make your day better? Because you do not know what somebody's going through.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very easy to be like, well, I'm also going through something. That is very true.
Yes.
But if everybody can be able to, and I'm not saying do not take care of yourself, self-care and all that, no. But put yourself out of the picture and put the other person first. Yeah. I believe we're able to create that community again. Yeah, COVID did not help.
No.
Because people feel like, okay, that's still, we're still a little bit in that mindset. But if we're able to have that place where we're more accommodating of each other, we need community right now more than ever, because communities have been decimated by different things. Yes. But people is what matters to me most, because we need each other. Yes. We were created for community. We were created to have fellowship. And I believe that is what is going to help us grow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. Bryan, again, thank you for your time. Thank you. And I'm lking forward to seeing, where the next mountain takes you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Really, this is incredible. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Absolutely. Yeah.